standard installation.
So what are you waiting for? Get HughesNet Gen 5.
To order, call 1-800-748-5218. Be sure to ask about our home phone service too. Call 1-800-748-5218 today.
This is CNN, the most trusted name in news.
I'm Jim Sciutto in New York. Poppy is off today. This morning, the West Wing under pressure as we learn more about what Robert Mueller's team knows, and frankly, it's clear that he knows a lot. Mueller's latest court filings now revealing to us the following: new lies, new contacts between the Trump campaign and Russians, and for the first time since taking office, the president is now directly tied to an alleged federal crime. And also, this morning, another White House shakeup is in the works. Chief of Staff John Kelly will soon be out. The big question right now is, who is in? Can they find a candidate? The front runner for the gig, giving it a hard pass this weekend. We begin with Abby Phillip at the White House. A lot of names, Abby, circulated, but it doesn't appear that a lot of those people are actually interested in this job.
That's right, Jim. We're hearing more from people who are taking their names off the list and people who are raising their hand to join this administration going into its third year. President Trump got a bit of a surprise this weekend when his top contender took his name out of consideration, saying that he didn't want to take the job for a 2-year commitment, which the president wanted. Now he is back to the drawing board, and we're hearing the names of 3 people who are being bandied about here in the West Wing. One of them is a Republican congressman from North Carolina, Mark Meadows, an ally of the president, Freedom Caucus chair, and someone who has a lot of ties and experience on Capitol Hill. But there's also Steve Mnuchin, the Treasury Secretary, who has been in this administration since the beginning, but a source close to him says he's happy where he is. There's also Mick Mulvaney, who the president has moved around in this administration many times, asking him to take on new roles. But this time, the White House Chief of Staff role is one that even Mick Mulvaney, according to a source close to him, is not willing to take. One of the problems here, Jim, is that going into this third year, this could be one of the toughest years for the Trump administration. Not only is he preparing for his re-election campaign, but the Mueller probe is heating up. There is the specter of criminal investigations on multiple fronts. And clearly, there are a lot of people here in Washington who don't see the Chief of Staff role as the plum job that it once was. Sources in the White House tell us that President Trump really didn't give a plan B much thought, thinking that Ayers would take the role. Now he's going through this process of reevaluating it. He has sent out a tweet this weekend indicating that interviews are going to be underway this week. But, our sources tell us this is very fluid, and that, frankly, President Trump really needs to go through this process of going through these names, evaluating the candidates, and determining who is actually willing to take this job in the Trump White House at such a perilous time, Jim. Yeah.
To do interviews, you need candidates. Abby Phillip at the White House, thanks very much. Now to Mueller and his latest court filings regarding both Michael Cohen and Paul Manafort. CNN's crime and justice reporter Shimon Prokupecz joins us now with the big breakdown. And Shimon, you had revelations here on the Cohen side. I mean, really remarkable. Cohen implicating the president in a federal campaign finance crime, but also revelations on the Mueller side, maybe a little murkier. Just if you could highlight a couple big points, tell us what we learned.
Look, I think one thing we did learn from all of this on Friday is that the president, Donald Trump, is really the central figure in all of these investigations, the ones here over at the SDNY in New York, and then really the Mueller investigation. And what we learned in the Cohen filings, most significantly, as you said, is that investigators from the Department of Justice, from the U.S. Attorney's Office here in New York, are essentially implicating the president in crimes, and that they say that he was part of, and he directed Michael Cohen to make those hush payments, of course, to women who have alleged sexual affairs with him. We also learned from the Mueller filing that Russians had reached out to Michael Cohen in 2015, suggesting political synergy. And then we also learned, obviously, more information about some of the other contacts that Michael Cohen had with Russians, including about what he lied, all in an effort really also to protect the president. It was about the Moscow project, when he lied to members of Congress about that deal. And then also the other thing that we learned, a lot of information that came from the Manafort filings. And that all started because Manafort, of course, lied to the special counsel during proffer sessions, during meetings with them about his cooperation. And we learned one of the most significant things in that is that he had contact with people in the White House. This is what the special counsel's office says. Recent contacts with people in the White House. They're not specifying who, but they did say it was a senior administration official. We also learned that Manafort lied about contacts with an intelligence operative, really setting the stage for Manafort to really face a lot of time in jail. We've also learned that the Manafort people, his attorney in the U.S. Attorney's Office in D.C., they plan to be in court on Wednesday to discuss scheduling on whether or not how they're going to litigate his lies and when he's going to be in court again to face a possible sentence, Jim.
And listen, we've said it before, those lies consistently about contacts with Russia by multiple people involved, contacts both during the campaign and during the transition. Why? All the lies. Shimon Prokupecz, thanks very much. Let's discuss now with CNN legal analysts Elie Honig and Shan Wu, both two guys to have. Elie was with the Southern District, now very much involved in this case. Shan Wu represented Rick Gates in the broader Mueller investigation. Elie, if I could start with you. You made what is a good point here, because you'll often hear from the president and others, well, listen, all these months of investigation, there's no smoking gun, that wraps the whole case up. You're an experienced prosecutor. Is there normally a smoking gun like that?
Almost never, Jim. What the president is trying to do here, and I think quite transparently, is raise the bar. And I think he wants to make it so that if there's no smoking gun, nothing bad can happen to me. That is not the way real-life prosecutions work. That is not the way real-life common sense works. When we make cases, when prosecutors make cases, it is based on all of the evidence taken together, piece by piece, and that's what Mueller's doing here. And I don't think the timing of the tweet is coincidental. It never is with this president, right? He tweets this just as the broader picture of his financial dealings with Russia, his indebtedness to Russia, and his motive to deal with Russia is coming into sharper focus.
Well, remember all the way back to Friday morning where the president had that series of tweets attacking the investigation, and lo and behold, that afternoon. Often the tweets are connected to what's coming or what has just come. Shan Wu, in terms of the president's reaction to all this, beyond this long-term campaign to undermine the credibility of the Mueller investigation, which is having some effect with his supporters, is a sort of general winging it mentality. And the Washington Post said this about the president's team. You'd expect a war room to be assembled here. They said the following: rather than building a war room to manage the intersecting crises, as past administrations have done, the Trump White House is understaffed, stuck in a bunker mentality, and largely resigned to a plan to wing it. Will that be enough to defend this president?
No, it won't. And to Eli's point, I mean, he's trying misdirection, and that is the only plan they ever seem to have had, is misdirection and denial. On the smoking gun point, as Shimon was reporting, my view on it actually is that, at least as to campaign finance, that is a smoking gun. I mean, the Southern District is accusing the president, by agreeing with Cohen, the courts accepting that guilty plea, that the president did engage in that. And this White House is completely unprepared. It has demonstrated time and time again they don't have the discipline. Maybe it's coming from the top. The president doesn't listen. But they have no structure. They have no discipline. They couldn't possibly run a war room. I mean, their entire operation is just constantly at war. They're under siege 24/7. There's no discipline whatsoever. I mean, if you look at the number of people who've been interviewed by the special counsel's office, that tells you something. It tells you they have no control over who becomes a witness. The president creates new witnesses against himself every single day. They have no idea who's going to be a witness.
Elie, let's get at this crime that Shan referenced there, which is that by paying off these women who alleged affairs with the president, Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal, during a campaign, you are in effect, well, you're violating campaign finance laws because you're using money and clearly, and this is a point I don't think we've emphasized enough, hiding those, because disclosure is a big portion of this, and there's a deliberate effort, Michael Cohen says, to hide these payments. In layman's terms, explain why that's a crime.
Right. There's two pieces of it that are a crime. One, the donations are over the legal limit, the $150,000, the $130,000, way over the legal limit.
$2,700.
Right, for an individual. And two, they're not being disclosed. You have to disclose every contribution you get. So it's sort of cheating in the campaign. And one important point, I've heard other people, commentators, say, well, is it going to be enough to impeach? It's not really big enough. But the thing to remember is this is not some crime the president committed in his separate private life. If the proof is there, and if he committed this crime, it went to the very process that resulted in him taking the White House. And the Southern District takes pains to stress that in their sentencing memo. They say he corrupted the electoral process.
It was an interesting sentencing memo because it wasn't all legalese. I mean, it was an impassioned argument that the Southern District of New York made. And keep in mind, run by a Trump appointee. Remind people that president will try to dismiss them as Democrats, et cetera. It's run by a Trump appointee. You will hear this argument, Shan Wu, that, well, campaign finance, President Obama, his campaign was alleged to have done something similar. They got away with a fine. That in reality, a prosecutor would never really pursue something like this, even if technically it's against the letter of the law. Respond to that argument.
Yeah, that's simply untrue. Prosecutors pursue campaign finance crimes all the time. Sometimes it's a lower amount, relatively minor infraction taken care of by a fine. In a more serious case, you look at the John Edwards trial. I mean, it went to trial charged as a felony. And this is a very serious matter. I mean, this was a big cover-up. It happened in a way which clearly was meant to influence the election. So were he not a sitting president, I mean, I'm quite confident they would pursue this. And there's enough legally here, as we've heard from other commentators. I mean, they could certainly impeach on this. It's really a political question for the House to decide if it's worth, shooting that amount of ammunition at this or not. And I think they'll probably have to wait to see what else is coming forward. And there's so much else, as you've mentioned, that Cohen has given them. I mean, the whole issue with the Moscow project sounds like a Foreign Corrupt Practices Act violation. To me, it sounds like a bribe.
That's been referenced before as a possible line. Ellie, final question to you, just because you got the Southern District stuff, Michael Cohen, campaign finance, then you have the other, and again, it's Mueller, so it's more of a black box, but what is clear, Russians reached out multiple times to the Trump campaign. Going back to 2015, never once was that outreach rebuffed by Trump, and never was it reported to the FBI. Do folks have a legal obligation to report that kind of offer from a foreign adversary, or is it just an ethical obligation?
It's an ethical and prudential obligation. But the question I have is, not only were there so many contacts with people close to Trump, they all lied about it to Congress, to the FBI, to the public, over and over. And that's so telling. People don't lie just for fun or for no reason. People lie because they're hiding something, they're protecting something.
And keep in mind, Michael Flynn lied about contacts during the transition, right? Not just during the campaign, during the transition after the president was already elected. And of course, Jeff Sessions had to later amend his testimony, as others did. Shan Wu, Ellie Honig, I know we're going to keep up this conversation because these developments are going to keep coming. Still to come in this hour, John Kelly's days are now numbered. We know that. And so are, apparently, the list of candidates to replace him. The question now is who, if anyone, wants this job? Plus, a shrugged shoulders strategy from the White House. As the president plays down his legal troubles, anxiety is reportedly building inside the GOP. I'll speak with the former White House Communications Director, Anthony Scaramucci. And in other news, crews are starting to clear out the debris and rubble from California's deadliest fire. This as stories of sacrifice and survival are now emerging. We're going to be live there with more.
At the Joseph A. Bank Super Tuesday sale, save up to 70% off everything. All suits on sale starting at $199. Dress shirts, $29. Plus take an extra 60% off clearance. From stitch to store, that's the bank way.
Good, they're here. You can just leave them on the porch.
Let ADT help protect your packages this holiday season. Package Protection Service, brought to you by ADT.
At Booking.com, we can't guarantee you'll find gold in them there hills on your vacation. But we can guarantee the best price on this rental cabin or any accommodation, from hotels to yurts. Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
This thing called love, I just can't handle it, this thing.
This holiday, give the gift of Peloton.
How did you know?
Right?
This holiday season, families near you need your help. Visit redcross.org now to donate.
When my hot water heater failed, she was pregnant, in-laws were coming, a little bit of water, it rocked our world.
I had no idea the amount of damage that water could do.
We called USAA, and they greeted me as they always do. Sergeant Baker, how are you? They were on it. It was unbelievable. Having insurance is something everyone needs, but having USAA, that's a privilege. We're the Bakers, and we're USAA members for life.
USAA. Get your insurance quote today.
This is my Paris. Follow me.
Mon Paris, the feminine fragrance. Yves Saint Laurent.
Opportunity is everywhere. Like here, where nothing stands between you and your best friends.
Anyone can retire, but retire well? That's different. At Fisher Investments, we spent 40 years helping people achieve a comfortable retirement. All that experience is yours free in our Guide to a Comfortable Retirement. It gives you what our advisors share with our clients, plus valuable experience from our clients as they enter retirement. And it's yours free.
Call now for your free retirement guide with insights from legendary money manager Ken Fisher. Call
1-800-759-4477. At Fisher, it's in our interest to help you do better. The better you do, the better we do. If you have more than $500,000 to invest, talk to us.
You'll also receive as a bonus our Stock Market Outlook, a timely assessment of where the market goes from here. Also free. Call
1-800-759-4477. A comfortable retirement isn't just a place you get to. You have to make it happen. We can help.
Call 1-800-759-4477.
If you're craving roast beef, go to the roast beef place. If you're craving a Reuben, brisket, loaded Italian, ignore your instincts and go to the roast beef place.
Arby's, we have the meats.
For sandwiches.
So, you got a letter from the IRS like I did, and you owed a heck of a lot of money, at least to you. I called Community Tax. They were courteous, they were helpful, they gave me advice, things that I didn't even know about. Saved me a lot of time, but most of all, it saved me a tremendous amount of money. So I think you'll be very pleased as I was. Call Community Tax.
Community Tax has resolved over $400 million in tax debt and consulted with over 50,000 clients just like you. Call Community Tax today at 800-444-1026 for a free no-obligation case analysis.
This is Gilda Radner, her voice in her writing.
People say you're a star now. What's it like to be a star?
She would walk into the room and all the energy would go to her.
It's the story of my life.
This just in to CNN, another potential contender for White House Chief of Staff rushing to take his name off the list. This time, North Carolina Republican Congressman Mark Meadows says, quote, absolutely not to the position. This just days after the president said that Chief of Staff John Kelly is on his way out, and the man widely expected to replace Kelly, Vice President Mike Pence's Chief of Staff, Nick Ayers, he turned it down as well. Joining me now to discuss, CNN political analyst and Washington bureau chief for The Daily Beast, and Jackie Kucinich, and CNN senior political analyst John Avalon. So, John and Jackie, I'll get your thoughts on this too. Doesn't seem like anybody wants his job.
I know, you're getting that impression, huh? Look, normally this is the reputation maker, getting chief of staff. This seems to be seen as a reputation breaker. People are worried that they're going to come out of this diminished, the reputation destroyed, possibly tied up in legal challenges. And you just keep seeing signs of this. It's stunning that he seems to have a hard time filling a job that normally people are breaking down the doors to get. But it's a sign of the state of Trumplandia.
Jackie, I mean, part of this seems to be it's a difficult job because this president runs, as Ryan Costello said to me just a few minutes ago, a unique White House. But how much are legal concerns part of this as well? Because you'd have to be aware you'd be stepping into a job, an administration that is facing investigations and bringing some of the president's aides into the spotlight in those investigations as well.
Right. It's not just the job, which, you know, make no mistake, is currently one of the worst jobs in Washington to have. It's when this person would be a part of this job. You'd think the Mueller report is going to drop should this person stay on for the next 2 years. They're also going to be facing an adversarial Congress, much more so than the last two chiefs of staff had. So, you know, this person is going to will have to come in and likely have to have their own counsel on retainer. So there's that, you know, financial aspect to this as well. So for sure. And also, you are going to be a unpopular person from the get-go, because one of the parts of this job, pretty much for every president, is you're a gatekeeper. But with this president, that person, the people that they're keeping out, are none too happy and will likely be stabbing you from the outside from the very beginning. So and you're going to be the enforcer. This president, despite his previous reality TV show, doesn't like to fire people. So whoever is the next chief of staff is the one who's going to have to be making those calls and telling someone to watch their Twitter feed. So there's a lot that is not to like about this position.
So John Avlon, I remember we had this discussion after the president lost a series of communications directors. The question, does the president actually need a communications director, because he's his own director of communications? I mean, he does have one now, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah. And same on chief of staff. He's making his personnel decisions. He'll often deliver these pronouncements via tweet, etc. I mean, can you make that argument?
His own chief of staff.
Yeah.
Well, look, I think perhaps not an accident. One of President Trump's favorite songs he closed rallies with, Rolling Stones, "Can't always get what you want." Next line of that, but sometimes you get what you need. He may not want a chief of staff, but he needs a chief of staff more than most presidents. This is a relatively new position in the history of the presidency. Didn't get officially named and considered normal till Harry Truman. But we've never seen a president with this kind of turnover. He'll have 3 in the first 2 years of his administration. The president is so impulsive, he is so undisciplined, that he desperately needs somebody who can try to keep the administration in line. The problem is, because the president's instincts are going to mean he is at loggerheads with that guy from jump, or gal.
Yeah.
And you need a really specific set of qualifications that are tough to come by, because individual number 1 lives in a Trump-centric universe.
Jackie, I want to ask you this question because, of course, this decision comes up as you have significant developments in the 2 big investigations now facing this president, the Mueller special counsel investigation, but the ongoing investigation via the Southern District of New York. Here, Cohen, Manafort, etc. Is there a sense, you cover this administration, you cover Washington, do you get a sense from the people close to the president that they sense a tightening of the noose, as it were, the walls coming in, that there's something significant here? Because we've had moments like this before. The president's kind of plowed on, he keeps the support of his base. Is there something different in the way they are seeing these developments now?
I mean, I think to work in this White House is to be nervous, right? Because there always seems to be is something hanging over their heads. But I don't think we should. I mean, aside from the president, we've seen the president behave like this before. When he's agitated about this, he tweets about it incessantly. But then he, something else happens and he plows ahead. And I think until something happens that changes the course of that, it'll be a lot of rinse, repeating, and hand wringing behind the scenes.
Right. Imagine that, hand-wringing. Jackie Kucinich, John Avlon, sounds like just a normal course of events now. Thanks to both of you. According to the Washington Post, Trump administration allies say that the White House is now reacting to the Russia investigation with a, quote, bunker mentality. Next, what to expect from the president, from former White House staffer, Chief of Communications, Anthony Scaramucci.
Hi, I'm Barry Sloan with NewTek, your business solutions company. Does your business need money? Whether you need $10,000 or $10 million, you can count on NewTek, the nation's largest non-bank government-guaranteed lender. NewTek can help your business expand and grow. With a simple phone interview, we can pre-qualify you in just 48 hours. And with rates as low as 6%, you can see why so many businesses turn to NewTek. To see how easy getting a loan can be, contact NewTek, your business solutions company, today.
Ruby Tuesday's new Homestyle combos starting at $11.99. Choose from 6 all-new, creamy, hearty, savory, cheesy entrees, plus endless trips to the Garden Bar. Join us at Ruby Tuesday for new Homestyle combos starting at $11.99.
This is cellulose acetate, a plant-based material that's not only extremely durable, but also quite flexible, making it ideal for Warby Parker glasses, which, by the way, start at $95, including prescription lenses. Try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
Well, here's to first dates. You look amazing.
And you look amazingly comfortable.
When your V-neck looks more like a U-neck, that's when you know it's half-washed. Add Downy to keep your collars from stretching. Unlike detergent alone, Downy conditions to smooth and strengthen fibers. So next time, don't half-wash it. Downey, and it's done.
If you're a veteran, own a home, and need money for your family, call New Day USA to use your valuable VA home loan benefit.
Thank you, Admiral.
It lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value.
Thank you, Admiral.
With today's rising home values, that can mean more money for you and your family.
Thank you, Admiral.
Money to pay down debts and get financial peace of mind.
Thank you, Admiral.
We'll do everything we possibly can to get you approved.
Call 1-855-473-6530.
In an era of online retail where everything is just a few clicks away, buying a car should be no different. That's why at Carvana, you can buy a car 100% online. We made it easy to browse, view, and buy from over 10,000 cars. You can even trade in your old car, all while binge watching your favorite TV show. Afterwards, we'll deliver your car to you. Or you can pick it up from one of our car vending machines. Either way, your car comes with a 7-day return policy. So grab a seat, relax in your comfy pants, and enjoy the new way to buy a car at Carvana.
This year, don't waste time and money on paper cards. Get Jib Jab and make you, your family, and friends the stars. They have hundreds of hilarious holiday cards to choose from, plus a free mobile app for texting. Visit JibJab.com to share the holiday laugh.
Don't you get the best price booking at one of those travel sites?
They tell you that, but when you book at Hilton.com, you get the price match guarantee. So if you find your room at a lower rate, Hilton is like, we're gonna match that rate and give you an extra 25% off.
What would travel sites do if you found a better price?
That's not my problem. It's your problem. Get out of here.
Wow, really felt that performance.
It's just acting. I'm really good at it. Book at Hilton.com and get the Hilton price match guarantee. If you find a lower rate, we match it and give you 25% off that stay.
Are you ready for it? Yeah! It's like CNN gone wild. TMI. Too much.
Your insurance rates skyrocket after a scratch so small you could fix it with a pen. How about using that pen to sign up for new insurance instead?
For drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise their rates because of their first accident. Switch and you could save $782 on home and auto insurance. Call 1-888-588-3356 for a free quote today. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty, 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 liberty. When my doctor put me on a cholesterol-lowering statin drug, I knew I should take CoQ10 with it. I take Cunol CoQ10. Why? Because Cunol has 3 times better absorption than regular CoQ10. Cunol, the better CoQ10.
Inflammation may cause everyday joint discomfort. Turmeric supports healthy inflammation response due to physical overexertion. Cunol provides superior absorption compared to regular turmeric. Cunol, the better turmeric.
This is CNN, the most trusted name in news.
The Trump administration is refusing to endorse an international report on the dangers of climate change, joining the likes of Russia, Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait. The administration's decision comes just weeks after critics say the White House tried to bury an alarming climate change report by releasing it on Black Friday. CNN's Bill Weir joins me now from Paradise, California, a town nearly destroyed by wildfires last month. And Bill, a lot of the coverage of this fire noted that climate change, it appears, based on the science, had an effect here, pushing back when the rains come, lengthening the dry season. As you're standing there on the ground there, seeing the effects of this, tell us what you see. Tell us what you learn from it.
Well, Jim, you can read, the National Climate Assessment, even says that since the mid-'80s, half of the western wildfires that have burned are the result of man-made global warming. A hotter atmosphere means more intense droughts, more violent rainstorms, less frequent and dependable snowpacks. And then what you have is, after this unbelievable, devastating fire, the Camp Fire, looks like this, where structures didn't just get singed, they burned down literally to the dirt. So now as people begin sifting through the ashes, they believe that this one disaster will generate 8 million tons of debris, 4 times more than last year's record fires there. You've got first responders and scientists saying it's time to connect the dots between the predictions that are coming true and the devastation we're seeing here, and getting ready for a hotter, more flammable future. A month ago, it was paradise. But after the deadliest American wildfire in 100 years, it is now mostly ash and rubble and melted metal. With 85 souls lost and thousands homeless, this campfire is the costliest in California history. But if not for the pure heroics of helpers, both in and out of uniform, the death toll could have been so much worse. Like Butte County Sheriff's Deputy Palmer Lee, who activated his body camera.
Oh, that's not good.
Not sure he'd even survive.
Let me get in! Yeah, come on.
He honestly believed that he was recording the last moments of his life. And in his mind, he thought that perhaps the video would survive.
But somehow, all first responders survived.
I found an elderly woman standing on the side of the road. And I only found her because I got tangled in some power lines that I had to cut.
And somehow they helped a city of 27,000 evacuate or shelter in place, surrounded by blowing flames, on gridlocked roads, and thanks to melting pipes, no water.
As I open my door, the embers are blowing inside my truck, and thinking my truck's going to catch on fire, shut the door, run to the screaming I hear. I mean, it was an elderly couple cuddling each other.
There are thousands of stories like this, making Paradise a symbol of community sacrifice and survival. The biggest cleanup in state history is underway, and when the lines are up and safe, neighbors will be back helping neighbors sift through what's left. But those who study fire and water, wind and climate say Paradise should be a warning. In fact, on Black Friday, while this fire was still burning, the Trump administration put out the most frightening climate forecast in American history. Over 300 scientists from NASA, NOAA, the Pentagon, Smithsonian, all agreeing that unless things change, this is just the beginning. But when asked about the report,
it's fine,
and its prediction of economic devastation,
yeah, I don't believe it. No, I don't believe it.
You know, climate change doesn't really care if you believe in it or not, right? It's reality. We have gravity, we have climate change.
Dr. Faith Kearns is a scientist at the University of California.
Yes, we are seeing larger fires.
And Don Haskins teaches the geography of fire at Cal State Chico. They both agree that California is also paying for the sin of building into the wilderness with no regard for natural cycles. But I suppose the lesson is, if you don't have a lot of little fires throughout the seasons, you're going to have some really big ones.
That's right. And the little fires, if you could imagine checkerboarding a landscape with a lot of little fires, could really do a lot to minimize those bigger fires later.
There are around 130 million dead trees in California. Controlled burning or cutting them would cost billions. But the risk of leaving them to burn wild is anyone's guess.
One of the problems you have as part of human nature is that, one, we rely upon our past experiences to predict how things are going to go forward. And so I've talked to a lot of citizens who said, yeah, we were aware of fires, but they were always able to stop them on the ridge before they got there. And so I think it engenders this false sense of security.
A lot of natural hazards have been viewed that way, as sort of through the lens of history. And now it's much more like we can't really rely on history as a guide anymore.
Yeah, and I believe that, you know, from when I started, the fires that we see on a regular basis are much more, they're larger, they're more destructive. And the future generation moving forward, they have a very dangerous job ahead of them.
That fire chief's been on the job 20 years, and he's saying, you know, if you don't believe the scientists, believe me. I can see it with my own eyes, Jim.
No, it's a great point. Not crazy tree huggers, right? I mean, he's on the front lines of this. I want to ask you this, because now the Trump administration has aligned the U.S. with Russia, Kuwait, and Saudi Arabia, denying, in effect, this climate change science. Of course, we should note those are undemocratic countries, but also countries whose economies are very much dependent on oil, and it rings like big tobacco and lung cancer, right? You know, you deny the science because it's in your interest. What does it mean to have the U.S., the world's biggest economy, biggest democracy, lining up with folks like that?
Well, I think it was it Upton Sinclair who said it's really hard to convince a man of something when his
entire income depends on him not understanding it. You're right. What are the things those companies have in common, including the United States? Huge energy exporters. It's the bread and butter. But even if the entire world stopped burning carbon today, turned off the engines, the atmosphere would continue to heat up for maybe a generation. This is a very slow-moving disaster we're dealing with here right now. And so all of this arguing about whether to row in the right direction, precious time is being lost to mitigate possible disasters. And it's not a matter of if it's going to happen, it's just a matter, Jim, of how bad it's going to get.
Well, you're standing there right in the midst of some of the consequences. Bill Weir, thanks very much, as always. More news we're watching this morning. British Prime Minister Theresa May is delaying a crucial vote on her Brexit deal. She is speaking in front of Parliament right now as we speak. Those are live pictures. We're going to have a live report from London after the break.
Over the last 2 decades has been built around.
We are rebellious, trendsetters, one of a kind. We are what we wear. American style, coming in January on CNN.
XL guys aren't built like everyone else. That's why DXL isn't built like any other clothing store, with sizes starting at XL, from Lacoste to Levi's, Brooks Brothers, and more. Built to fit, built XL, DXL.
Boom. Enjoy your prime rib.
Anyone ever call you Meat Santa?
No, that's weird.
Happy holidays.
Enjoy. Next customer.
Did you know 80% of all erectile dysfunction meds sold online are counterfeit? That's why we created Roman. Now you can get real, FDA-approved medication prescribed online, delivered to your door. Get your first month free at GetRoman.com/TV.
Christmas. You can plan on me. Please have snow and mistletoe and presents on the tree.
Right now, all over the country, kids at Shriners Hospitals for Children are able to go home and be with their families for the holidays. And that's only possible because of the monthly donations from people like you.
When you call the number on your screen today and just give $19 a month, you'll be helping countless children get the care they need to go home for Christmas.
With your gift of just $19 a month, only 63 cents a day, we'll send you this adorable Love to the Rescue blanket as a thank you, and a reminder of the care you'll be providing so kids can be with their families.
Christmas Eve will find me where the love light gleams.
It only takes a moment to call the number on your screen, or you can visit loveshriners.org to help other kids just like me be with their families this Christmas.
Because every child just wants to be home for the holidays, and your gift makes that possible.
Your call is the best gift of all.
Your gift will be my favorite Christmas present this year.
Thank you for giving.
Please call the number on your screen. If operators are busy, please call again, or go to loveshriners.org to give whatever you can. Thank you for giving.
This thing called love, I can't handle it, this thing.
This holiday, give the gift of Pelotons.
How did you know?
Right?
You always pay your insurance on time. Tap one little bumper and up go your rates. What good is having insurance if you get punished for using it? Newsflash, nobody's perfect.
For drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise your rates due to your first accident. Switch and you could save $782 on home and auto insurance. Call 1-866-997-9944 for a free quote today. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
The best part about being a bath fitter installer is the reveal. Homeowners greet us in the morning and love that we're going to install a beautiful new tub right over their old one without tearing the bathroom apart. but they're never quite prepared for what they get come the end of the day. We call it the wow moment. When they see their new bathtub that's high quality and more beautiful than they could have imagined, I can't help but smile. Since it's Bathfitter, it's built to last a lifetime. We guarantee it.
Book your free in-home consultation today. Call or visit bathfitter.com.
Closed captioning brought to you by Mesobook.com.
We offer a free book on mesothelioma. Call for the free book and receive so much more. Call 1-800-831-3700.
The White House is facing a political storm now, tightening of the Russia investigation, a potentially hostile Democratic majority coming to Congress with subpoena power, rather. But President Trump's allies tell the Washington Post that instead of hiring lawyers and building a war room to respond, the White House is winging it. They are depending on President Trump's core supporters to believe what he tells them. Joining us now is former White House Communications Director Anthony Scaramucci. Thanks very much for taking the time.
I mean, just go back for 1 second. Who's saying that? Like,
listen, we've got a lot of folks on the Hill. You hear from Republicans and Democrats. Right. It's not made up. You know?
Do you like New York better than Washington, Jim, or what?
Me personally, I like them both. But I'll always be a New Yorker at heart. As a fellow New Yorker, you know that never leaves you.
Just curious.
Let's start, if we can, on the president's chief of staff position, because you just had another guy take his name out of the hat. That is Mark Meadows. You had Nick Ayers over the weekend, who appeared to be the front runner. Does this indicate that folks don't want this job?
I don't think so. I think in Mark's case, look at what he's done with the Freedom Caucus and look at the role that he has in the Congress, and he's been unbelievably helpful to the president's agenda inside the Congress. And so I think in Mark's situation, he's a total team player. He's trying to figure out what is the best utility for him, and he probably thinks it's to stay in the Congress, which would make sense given, how much power he's galvanized inside the House of Representatives.
But the point is you have a pattern, right? Because Nick Ayers is a young guy. You would think in an administration, a 36-year-old gets offered a job like that. He jumps at it. You got Mick Mulvaney saying he's likes where he is. I mean, you have to imagine that the legal questions, the president's style of management are turning people off.
Well, okay, so the legal stuff, in my opinion, I think the next chief of staff will probably have to convince the president to start ring fencing that. He's got very good legal counsel. They've got a pretty good idea where the facts are in the case, and I think they can protect the president. And so I think that'll dial back some of the president's tweets on that. As it relates to the other stuff, I don't think there's any shortage of people that would come and serve the country and work for the president. And so for me, he'll probably. I don't know what happened with Nick Ayers, so I'm not sitting there at the table. But my guess is that the president was probably going to announce him, or came close to it, or thought about announcing him. Something happened. He withdrew, and so the president is he picked an exceptional cabinet. He's got very smart people around him. He'll probably deliberate about this for a week or two and come up with a great guy to be his chief. But here's the thing: I want the next chief of staff to be somebody that really likes the president. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's enough of I'm serving the country, but
Kelly-Trump dynamic.
It's enough of I'm serving the country, but I don't really like the president. Let's have somebody that really likes the president, recognizes that the president's the boss. Don't be a sycophant. You got to talk to the president honestly, but recognize that he's got the ball. Yep. You're just giving him some offensive coordination and defensive coordination, but he's the head coach and the quarterback.
Let me ask you about this, because of course you had the filings in Cohen and the Manafort cases on Friday. The president, Rudy Giuliani, they dismissed both filings, but including the Cohen filing as being unrelated to this president, when in fact Cohen is testifying that the president directed him to break campaign finance law. And as I always remind folks, the president will say it's a bunch of angry Democrats leading this, but the Southern District of New York, as you know, is run by a Trump appointee now. How can the president and Giuliani say this is totally unrelated to him when he's implicated?
Well, they probably are saying it, and they're probably saying it in that way, and I'm not trying to be the translator here, but I think what they really mean is that whatever went on with Paul, or in the case of Michael, it's probably not going to be over the line of criminality as it relates to the president. And I think that's the point that Rudy's making. And so I think that's the point that the president was making on Twitter. Having looked at the case, I do have a legal background. People obviously will disagree with me. Some of this is politically charged, so let's just look at the facts. Question will be, does he have a John Edwards-like defense? Is it a campaign violation, or was this something that he was doing in a normal course of his business, a normal course of his process? And so, to me, I think that's where they're coming out on, and I think that's why they're saying it's not not illegal from the president's perspective.
I want to ask you this question, because, and you get asked this a lot, and I saw you, my colleague Chris Cuomo, he pressed you on this. The president not telling the truth on things in public. You use the expression flower it up. That sometimes he embellishes, sometimes he flowers things up.
Puffs things up, he flowers things up.
But sometimes, let's be fair.
I've also said to John Berman, the president's told lies. I'm not one of these sycophants where I'm going to sit out here and pretend that he hasn't said a few things that are not truthful. But let me just say this. You have to understand his operating style. You have to understand his presentation skills. The stuff that he's saying that isn't truthful, most people get the joke about it.
Dude,
other people will say, well, intellectually, how could you say that? You're justifying that he's not saying the truth. I'm not. Yeah. I'm not justifying it. I'm just explaining, based on my observation of the president's personality and someone that's worked with him, what he's doing and why he's doing it. And it's been generally effective for him, Jim, over the last 45 years.
But this gets to core issues here.
I'm not condoning.
I know you're not condoning. I'm just asking
what he does,
the
is how he
damage.
operates.
But what the damage is. I mean, the thing is, in a way, you're excusing it by saying that's how he operates. What damage does it do when, for instance, the commander-in-chief says that there is no intelligence that implicates the Saudis in this, when in fact you hear from Republicans that there is, or when the president says, even going back, that there were 3 million illegal voters who voted for Hillary Clinton, when now you have an actual case in North Carolina of what appears to be real election fraud. What's the effect on the country?
So again, I'm really not condoning it. I'm just trying to explain it. The president, I think, controls the bully pulpit. He has a voice in the debate that I think is very powerful, and there's ways that he could sit down and strategize about how to use that voice going forward that I think could be more effective. I have said repeatedly that some of the war with the media, some of the issues and tension there is a 5 to 7% headwind in the president's face. He could have a much higher approval rating, in my opinion, if he dialed back some of that.
And to your credit,
I've said that
to your credit, you've criticized this president, for instance, for repeating the enemy of the people thing, which he repeated over the weekend. And
I don't like it.
And we appreciate that.
I don't like it. And it's not. I'm not saying that because you're in the media. I just don't like it. I understand the Constitution and the First Amendment. I understand that people in the media are there to hold people in power accountable. I mean, I didn't do that many things. I was in the White House, but I did turn the lights and cameras back on because I believe in the First Amendment, and I know the president believes in the First Amendment. And by the way, the president had a great relationship with the media years ago. There's no reason why he can't have a better relationship with the media over the next 2 years than he did in the first 2 of his presidency.
Appreciate it. Final question, if I can. This struck us because you were speaking at a conference this weekend, and you talked, because this gets to the truth issue. You talked about this group, QAnon, which is the source of many of the worst, conspiracy theories going back to Pizzagate and a whole host of others. But you said that they're accurate about so many things.
Okay. So this is what I love about the media. So this is sort of what happened to me with CNN, right, where I said to these guys, okay, you're being dishonest. If you're going to report that, I'm going to have to come after you. And, of course, the 3 CNN people got fired. So I don't even remember this reporter's name, and so I'm not even going to bring the guy's name up and give him the publicity.
No, but on this issue,
let me say what I said. I said that there was a woman there. She had a T-shirt on that had Q on it. I laughed. I said, what is this whole Q thing? She started listing things for me. The reporter didn't hear the whole thing of what this guy has apparently predicted. I said, wow, I didn't realize that he had gotten so many things right. I'm not focused on Q.
You're not endorsing them,
I am not endorsing Q. I don't know anything about QAnon. The reporter thought he had me in a gotcha moment, because that's what reporters do. He didn't declare himself as a reporter. He didn't say he was interviewing anybody. I was teasing the woman when I said, well, wait till you find out who the guy is. Right. I have no idea who the guy is. I'm not a quote-unquote QAnon truther. I could care less about QAnon. But this is what I don't like about the media, okay? They set me up. Let me finish.
No, I'm saying here, I asked you the question, and I'm accepting your answer.
I appreciate you bringing it up so that I can clear it up. I'm not going to respond to this joker on Twitter or these other jokers that hang out with the guy. But this is why the American people strongly dislike elements of the media that they think are being unfair. Right. And you're a very fair guy, and I appreciate you bringing it up. But I just want to state for the record, I'm not a QAnon truther. I don't know anything about QAnon. But according to what this woman said, if it's true, some of the things that the guy put out there turned out to be true. Maybe there's 95% of the things that turned out to be false. I have no idea. I don't even look at the stuff.
Question asked and answered, and I appreciate you taking it.
But do you understand why that would be something that would upset me?
I get it. No, I do. I do.
Ridiculous stuff that goes on.
But you also answered the question, and we're because I'm hearing your answer, I'm taking your answer at face value.
It's just ridiculous, Jim.
I appreciate you taking the hard questions on this and other topics. Look forward to having you back.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
Anthony Scaramucci, thanks very much, and we'll be right back after this break.
Hey! Yeah? I switched to Geico and got more. More savings on car insurance? They helped with homeowners, too. Okay. Plus, motorcycle, boat, and RV insurance. Geico's got you covered. Like a blanket.
Houston, you seeing this?
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
ADT Smart Security helps make holidays a little easier and a lot safer.
We got cookies.
Yummy!
Alexa, ask ADT to unlock my front door.
Holiday catering service brought to you by ADT, the #1 smart home security provider.
Luis?
Stephanie, hola.
Opportunity is everywhere. Like here, where you can explore the world, knowing you can always find your way home.
I just got my Ancestry DNA results. 74% Italian. And I found out that I'm from the big toe of that sexy Italian boot. So this holiday season, it's Ancestry DNA per tutti! Order your kit now at Ancestry.com.
Ordering takeout.
Finding the best route.
Talking for hours.
Planning for showers. Checking the news.
Buying new shoes.
Burning some fat.
Sharing the latest viral cat.
Catching that replay.
Text night and day.
Do all the things you like to do with a wireless plan designed for you. Talk, text, and data for only $25 a month. Nationwide coverage, no contracts. Consumer Cellular, ranked #1 by J.D. Power. Call, go online, or visit any Target.
Anyone can retire, but retire well? That's different. At Fisher Investments, we spent 40 years helping people achieve a comfortable retirement. All that experience is yours free in our Guide to a Comfortable Retirement. It gives you what our advisors share with our clients, plus valuable experience from our clients as they enter retirement. And it's yours free.
Call now for your free retirement guide with insights from legendary money manager Ken Fisher. Call
1-800-759-4477. At Fisher, it's in our interest to help you do better. The better you do, the better we do. If you have more than $500,000 to invest, talk to us.
You'll also receive as a bonus our Stock Market Outlook, a timely assessment of where the market goes from here. Also free. Call
1-800-759-4477. A comfortable retirement isn't just a place you get to. You have to make it happen. We can help.
Call 1-800-759-4477.
At the Joseph A. Bank Super Tuesday sale, save up to 70% off everything. Sport coats and blazers, $149. All Traveler washable merino sweaters, $39. Plus take an extra 60% off clearance. From stitch to store, that's the Bank way.
I always felt that my comedy was just to make things be all right.
It's the story of my life.
If you're looking for the perfect holiday gift for someone special to you, give a gift that will be truly appreciated. The Omaha Steaks Favorite Gift Package. It's filled with $232 worth of great food for just $59.99. That's 74% off only on this special holiday offer. The people on your nice list will receive 4 tender, mouth-watering filet mignons, 4 extra thick boneless pork chops, 4 premium boneless chicken breasts, 4 classic juicy Omaha Steaks burgers, 4 stuffed baked potatoes, and 4 caramel apple tartlets. Your order will be delivered straight to your home or the destination of your choice, so you can give this wonderful gift to anybody on your holiday list. As a special holiday gift from us to you, if you order right now, we'll include 4 additional Omaha Steaks burgers free. That's 8 total. You get it all. Omaha Steaks Favorite Gift Package, a $232 value for just $59.99. Give everyone a gift they can appreciate. Give them the Favorite Gift Package from Omaha Steaks today.
This is CNN, the most trusted name in news.
Happening now as we speak, British Prime Minister Theresa May is defending her decision to delay a crucial vote on Brexit. It is the latest hiccup for many. For May, as she negotiates Britain's divorce from the European Union. Let's go to Matthew Chance. He is live outside Parliament. So vote delayed now. What happens now?
Well, it's a good question. You can see she is speaking now, Theresa May, or she's been speaking for the past couple of minutes, to an absolutely divided House that has all sorts of strands of opinion about what to do next. Should there be a general election? Should there be a second referendum? Should we crash out of the European Union without a deal? Or should we accept the plan that Theresa May has been at the forefront of negotiating for the past several months? Well, the British Prime Minister has said she's deferring a crucial vote in the Parliament to accept that plan, knowing that she was going to be confronted with a massive rejection by MPs in the House of Commons. She's going to go back to the European Union and seek some concessions, some additional reassurances, as she says, on the issue of the backstop. This is the deal that would kick into force to make sure there's no hard border between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. It's been one of the most divisive and contentious issues of the Brexit plan, because Brexiteers fear it would essentially cut the country in half or cut off Northern Ireland from the rest of the United Kingdom. So very contentious indeed. Already the main Northern Irish political party has said that's not enough, that the backstop must go. And so she's in this very unenviable position. No matter what she comes back with, when she comes back from the European Union after this next round of negotiations she's about to try and enter into, the chances are that's not going to be accepted either. And so we're at the end of a big period of political chaos here, Jim.
Yeah. Big consequences for Britain, for the United Kingdom splitting up, possibly Europe. Matthew Chance, we're going to stay on this story. This just coming into CNN. Accused Russian spy Maria Butina has reached a plea deal. The breaking news, we're going to have it right after this break.
Family taco night is a heartburn night you can plan for, but surprise pizza at the office means heartburn you didn't expect. Zantac works when you need it. It relieves or prevents heartburn in as little as 30 minutes and lasts up to 12 hours. Zantac. Eat your way, treat your way.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Over the last 12 years, you've helped MyPillow create thousands of jobs right here in the USA.
I've never slept better in my life. What's better than a great night's sleep?
Sleep is one of the most important things for your health, and I've always said that MyPillow is one of the most important things to your sleep. And now a recent clinical sleep study proved it. It proved you get less sleep interruptions on MyPillow. It increases your restorative deep sleep. It helps reduce your snoring, and it improves the oxygen levels to help you wake up feeling refreshed. And there's so much more.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night, and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
MyPillow changed my life because it gave me a restful night's sleep, one that I had not had before.
Call or go to MyPillow.com now. Use this promo code and Mike will give you a second MyPillow absolutely free. Hurry, this offer ends soon.
MyPillow works because my patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs, and it helps keep your neck supported and aligned.
So it comes as no surprise that the same research study also showed that a full 78% of sleep study participants showed improvement in their sleep. Every MyPillow is made in the USA. It's machine washable and dryable, comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. So if you want to fall asleep faster, get deep restorative sleep, have less snoring interruptions, and wake up feeling more refreshed, don't wait another minute. Order your very own MyPillow now.
I personally guarantee that MyPillow will be the most comfortable pillow you'll ever own, or your money back.
Call or go to MyPillow.com now. Use this promo code and Mike will give you a second MyPillow absolutely free. That's right, 2 MyPillows for the price of 1. Hurry, this offer ends soon.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
The original idea for this commercial was to show you how these Warby Parker glasses were made. But we got held up on this beautiful shot of them getting hand polished. Our glasses start at $95, including prescription lenses. Try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com. Okay, there's this other thing we do. It's called a hinge test. And well, you get the point. Our glasses start at $95, including prescription lenses. Try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
Are you ready for it?
Yes!
I've been waiting for it.
It's like CNN gone wild.
My heat has just kicked in big time. TMI. Too much. Oh. That is a reason to tune in.
Attention Medicare beneficiaries. The Center for Medicare Services has officially authorized new benefits Medicare Advantage plans may include. Plans may now include private home aids and rides to medical appointments. Most plans also include dental, vision, hearing, and prescription drug coverage. To get the benefits you deserve, call the Medicare Coverage Helpline now.
Hi, I'm Joe Namath. I called the Medicare Coverage Helpline, and they instantly advised me that I wasn't getting all the benefits I deserved. They explained I could get a plan that includes dental and prescription coverage, as well as the new coverage for private home aids and rides to medical appointments.